Good morning and welcome back to Toulouse. Hopefully your heart rates have gone down after yesterday's drama, but fear not, there's plenty coming up today that is likely to send your heart rate right back up. We've got the qualification for the women, 22 women taking part. We have speed first, followed by boulder, and then lead. Let's have a look at how they line up. Remember, we were supposed to have 20 climbers here in Toulouse, but a slight confusion about how you qualify for the event means we've ended up with 22. Not that it matters much for the format, it just makes it even harder to claim one of those slick 6 slots for the Olympics. But first things first, here's how they'll line up in the speed. Remember, it isn't a race in the qualifying round, it's all about time. So you get 2 runs per climber. You get 1 run in lane A, 1 run in lane B. And you are ranked according to your fastest time across the 2 runs. First 2 climbers we'll see out will be Julia Kaplina and Yiling Song. That should be an interesting one. But remember, they're not running along against each other. They are merely running against the clock. Very strong lineup in terms of speed climbers on the women's side. I mean, yesterday in the men's, we really had 2 climbers, Alfie Mohammed and Bassam Marwem, who are considered primarily speed climbers. Today, you could argue we've got 4. We've got Julia Kaplina, Yiling Song, Anouk Jobert, and Alexandra Koluchka, all of whom are capable of 7.5 seconds and even quicker. And not to mention Eri Sazanti Raheu, who's capable of going under 7 seconds, as we saw in Xiamen just over a month ago, when she absolutely shattered the world record to set it at 6.995. So, very strong lineup for speed climbing. Completely different dynamic yesterday, where, as I say, we basically had 2 men gunning it out for that first place coming off the speed wall in all likelihood, and that's how it panned out. Today, much stiffer competition, and the reality is that if speed climbing is your strongest discipline and you're really relying on it, if you don't get that 1 next to your name, that number 1 ranking leaving the speed wall, you've got an awful lot of work to do for the rest of the day to end up in the top 8, let alone the top 6 to claim those Olympic slots. Just to remind you, this is a combined competition, so we do all 3 disciplines: speed, followed by boulder, followed by lead, and your ranking points is your ranking from each individual discipline multiplied by the others. So if, for example, you're 3rd in speed, 2nd in boulder, 1st in lead, your ranking points will be 6. That's 3 from speed multiplied by 2 for boulder multiplied by 1 for lead, gives you a total of 6. So obviously you want the fewest points possible, lowest points possible. And we calculated that now we've got 22 starters, the maximum number you can get is just over 10,000. And the lowest number you can get, obviously, is 1. But if anyone wins all 3 disciplines, I really will be impressed, especially given the calibre of speed climbers, boulders and lead climbers that are here today. That is the scene here in Toulouse. We're in a brand new arena, just to the south of the city in the suburb of Tournefeuille. It's been an almost 8-month IFSC season, but it concludes here. This will be the last IFSC action of 2019. And there are 6 Olympic invitations waiting to be handed out to 6 of these 22 women. There's Julia Kaplina, closest to the camera. As I say, she is one of the climbers who really needs to leave the speed wall with a ranking of 1, at worst 2, really, realistically, to stand much of a chance of progressing to the final. There are 8 slots in the final. The women's final will take place on Sunday, but we may actually, as we did yesterday in the men's competition, be able to confirm who will get the Olympic invitations today, because only 2 climbers per gender per country can go to the Olympics. And therefore, if you make it into the top 8, once that rule has been applied, you may be in one of the 6 slots to receive an Olympic invitation. We'll have plenty of time to talk about all that today. Fear not, there'll be plenty of maths, there'll be plenty of rules, there'll be plenty of speculation. Let's just focus on the action for now. See who can leave this speed wall in first place. So Julia Kaplina on the left against Yiling Song. Yiling Song's been an absolute sensation in speed climbing. Held the world record at one stage at 7.101 seconds. Kaplina also held it as well at 7.38, so expect very quick times from both, but it's a big stumble from Song, and that could cost her Yulia Kaplina, meanwhile, will clock a 7.595. I think she'll be reasonably satisfied with that, but certainly can shave at least probably a quarter of a second off. But she's got a banker time. Remember, you take the best time of your two. So Yulia Kaplina's got a decent time in the bag by her standards. I bet any of the non-speed specialists would chew your arm off for a time of 7.595, but by Yulia Kaplina's standards, that's a decent time in the bank. And she could probably take a few more risks and go for it a little more on the second run. So Sandra Lettner now of Austria in the A lane. Anouk Jobert in the B lane. Jobert, vastly successful climber down the years. 15 World Cup wins. Won the World Cup season title last year in 2018. Sandra Lettner, meanwhile, capable of going well under 9.5 seconds, so expect a very quick time from Anouk Jobert and a pretty handy time from Sandra Lettner too. Let's keep an eye on Jobert, right-hand lane. Keep an eye on the clock. She stops the clock at 7.643. So already she's trailing Yulia Kaplina, and as I say, for the people who are counting on speed for a good result, they really need to be in first, at absolute worst second, to stand more than a very slim chance of progressing onto the final on Sunday and potentially the Olympics as well. So again, a bit like Kaplina, Jobert has got that banker time, more or less guarantees, you'd imagine, a top 5 finish from speed, and will be able to risk slightly more on the next run. Margot Hayes now on the left, running alongside her compatriot Kyra Conley. Just to let you know as well, by the way, the pairings stay the same for the second runs. So when we see these climbers next time out, it will be Kyra and Margot together, but Kyra will be on the left, Margot on the right. Kyra definitely the quicker speed climber of these two, and you can see she's away. And looks like she could set a pretty handy time. Stops the clock at 9.432. And 12.121 for Margot Hayes. Kyra definitely got another couple of tenths. Her best in competition time is 9.298, so she could definitely find a little bit more time. We only saw her reaction briefly. Didn't look like she was over the moon with that one, but yeah, again, got a decent time in the bank. We haven't seen too many major slips and disasters. Most people have registered a time not a million miles away from their PB. Alexandra Koluchka now against Futaba Ito. Remember, Japan have already filled their Olympic quota, but they are allowed to compete here in Toulouse, and so they've chosen to do so. But if any Japanese climbers do make it into the top 6 or top 8, they won't be eligible for an Olympic invitation. Ready? So Koluchka capable of going at around 7.5 seconds for Futaba Ito. Somewhere in the low 9s would count as a good score for her. Let's see. She's had a clean run so far. Oh, misses the timing pad. Oh, and that's a shame for Futaba Ito, because she had a really nice clean run. Not much wrong with that at all. Wasn't too far off. I think her personal best, 9.256. Let's have a look what sort of time she might have clocked. I think she would have set a PB there. That is so disappointing from her. That's a shame for Futaba, as I say. She, I think, would have been at or maybe even a 10th under her personal best. Elnaz Rakabi now of Iran, next to Mia Krampel of Slovenia. Elnaz Rakabi definitely capable of going under 9.5. Mia Krampel, I can find no other way of putting this, needs to work on her speed climbing, because right now it's the thing that's holding her back. She's a superb boulderer, superb lead climber, but has neglected speed thus far, and it counted against her in Hachioji at the World Championships. And I fear it may count against her here in Toulouse. Let's see. She got a very, very good start. Elnaz Rakabi fell after a couple of moves. Mia Krampel is not going to set a great time here, but she'll get something on the board. And there it is, 13.694. Yeah, Mia, as I say, vastly successful over recent years, but for whatever reason has not worked that much on her speed climbing. And yes, it may count against her. Alana Yip now, who was alongside me in the commentary box yesterday for the men's boulders. I think was just glad of a distraction, something to think about other than what she was going to be doing. It's time to perform now. She's on the left, Aimori on the right. Alana, another climber capable of a decent time here. Close to 9 seconds, I suspect. Aimori a little slower, somewhere in the 12s, I would imagine, from I. Let's see what Alana can clock. This looks a pretty good run. Little stumble just before the top and ends up dipping under 10 seconds at 9.995. Aimori, meanwhile, 14.946. Yeah, you can see there was just that correction for Alana as she placed her left foot on the penultimate foothold, but still goes under 10 seconds.
Les minimes peuvent déjà faire le championnat national senior. Et elle avait été championne d'Italie senior à l'âge de 14 ans. Elle était minime première année.
Laura Rigora now on the left against Julia Chanodi. France have taken both of their Olympic slots with the Marwem brothers on the men's side. As yet there are no French women qualified. So 2 slots potentially available for the French women. Same is true for Italy. Laura Rigora is the only Italian climber taking part today. Quick start from Julia Chanodi. You can tell she's been working on her speed climbing. Crowd making right behind her as well, egging her on to a fast time. And a little stumble before the top cost her, but still a 9.600 is a pretty handy start. 11.230 for Laura Rigora.
De toute façon, Julia, c'est ça, hein, c'est arriver un petit peu à faire comme Yarnaï, enfin, arriver à se caler très bien dans la vitesse et après ça devrait débrider sur les autres disciplines. Voilà, là c'est quand même un temps très correct. Mais elle était détendue, elle a le sourire.
With this multiplication system where we multiply the rankings rather than add them together, it can make a huge difference if you just slip down a couple of places in any of the rankings. So for these climbers who've essentially learned speed climbing in order to qualify for and compete at the Olympic Games, it might sound quite an arbitrary difference when they're 3 or 4 seconds away from the world record, but it might make a massive difference to their ranking. So every 10th, every 100th of a second counts for all these climbers because of ranking position. Evgenia Kaspakova now on the left, Jane Kim on the right. Jane Kim, I think, can probably go under 10.5 seconds. Evgenia, I think, will be somewhere around 11 if all goes to plan. And Jane does dip under 10.5. 10.463, that's a good time for her. Fastest in competition time of her career. Evgenia Kaspakova, we didn't see quite as much of. She actually disappeared out the shot ever so slightly. Yeah, it clocked in 11.639. So Aries Susanti Raheu will be out next. As I said, about 5 weeks ago, absolutely shattered the world record in Xiamen on the shore of the South China Sea. 6.995 there. What a moment that was. If you haven't watched it yet, go back, check it out on YouTube. Incredible stuff. So she's the only climber here, the only female climber in history to have ever gone under 7 seconds. Fanny Gibert will be next to her. As I mentioned, there's 2 slots potentially available for French women in the Olympics. They might take both, they might not take any. We shall see, but there are 2 slots available. Some countries already have a climber qualified, and therefore there's only 1 slot left. France have 2 available. Same is true of Indonesia. Eri Suzanne-Cerrejón, as we'd expect, absolutely flies out, but a big stumble, and that will really cost her. She's going to need a clean second run, because this time she has clocked only 8.333, which by her metronomic standards is not great. And you can see she's a bit hacked off with that one. For these climbers that are counting on speed, they've got to win this speed climbing, basically. They might get away with second if they feel that they're capable of a good performance on the boulders or the lead wall, but if they can claim, whoever claims first on the speed wall sets himself up potentially for qualification for the final. Shima now, 12.260, her best in competition time. Yutong Jiang, meanwhile, dipped under 10 seconds. Times. Clean start from both. We haven't had any false starts yet. Remember, if you do have a false start, that is the end of your competition. But both climbers away smoothly. Jiang looking pretty quick here. Yes, dips comfortably under 10 seconds. 9.668. Ashima, meanwhile, 13.647. Work to do on the second run. Ashima, yeah, personal best is almost 1.5 seconds quicker than that. So she's got a bit of work to do. Second time around, we'll definitely be looking to find something a little bit quicker than that. So, the final 2 climbers for us to watch today before we begin the second runs. Sosa on the left, Lučka Rakovic on the right. Lučka around 10.5 seconds. Sosa, I'd expect to be almost 2 seconds quicker than that. So Sosa on the left, we would expect to clock a quicker time. And it is Sosa who gets a better start and is quicker through the middle section as well. Just keep an eye on the clock. It's not a race, it's all about time. And Sosa clocks 9.297. Lučka, meanwhile, ended up with an 11.443. I think Sosa now will be in that category of climber who's got a time in the bank that's not too bad and can afford to take a few more risks a bit later on. For someone who's so good on the boulders and not too bad on the lead wall either, I think at 9.297 is a pretty good result for Sosa. Now, Julia Koplina, good run for her. Not great by her high standards, but a good run at 7.595. Will run alongside Yiling Song. Song clocked a 9.119, so she's under quite a lot of pressure on this run. A little less pressure on Koplina, as I say. She got that banker time, and she goes into this second round of runs in first place. So if nobody else improves, Koplina will win the speed climbing part of this competition today, but she'll be looking for an even quicker time on this run. So will Song, and now they're both going absolutely full tilt. Keep an eye on the clock. 7.370 for Koplina. That is a personal best. Brilliant result for her. 7.421, for Song. Yulia Kaplan has done exactly what she needed. Only 100th of a second better than her personal best. But if you can produce your personal best in the Olympic selection event, you have peaked at just the right time. It does mean that Yiling Song is not going to leave the speed wall in first place. Will that come back to haunt her? Anouk Jobert now. The drama continues. She's capable of going quicker than 7.37. She's clocked a 7.32 before, but this is going to need one of the best runs of her life for Jobert to leave the speed wall in first place. Jobert pretty good on the boulders as well, so she could make up a bit of ground there, but the reality is leaving the speed wall with a 1 next to your name will set you up perfectly for the day. Leaving it with a 2, a 3 or even a 4 will not. So keep your eye on Jobert. She didn't get a great start. Sandra Lettner's not too far behind her, but just keep an eye on the clock from Jobert. She stops it at 7.721 and is not happy with that. I can see why, because that means she's going to be at least 3rd. That's not an improvement on her first time. The best she can finish on the speed is 3rd now, and that leaves her with an awful lot of work to do. She came within a whisper of claiming an Olympic qualification in Hachioji at the World Championships back in August. Would have had high hopes for here in Toulouse. It hasn't panned out so far. She's going to finish no better than 3rd in the speed. Kyra now on the left, Margot Hayes on the right. Kyra 9.432 on her first run, 12.121 from Margot. Kyra not too far off her personal best on the first run, can basically risk it all here. Absolutely explodes out the blocks, Kyra Condé. She's got a really quick start and she's flying so far. You can see she's just going full tilt, leaving nothing behind and clocking an 8.891, and look at the reaction. That is a massive result for Kyra Condé. That is a huge result. She's absolutely smashed her competition personal best. You could tell from the second she left the timing pad that she meant business. Margot Hayes, meanwhile, didn't clock a time. So Margot will keep her 12.121. But yeah, Kyra Condé just, it's like she'd been fired out the barrel of a gun at the start and just kept it up all the way. She could take a few risks, knowing she had a decent time, and things only got better than there. That's an amazing start for Kyra. For Taba now, taking on Alexandra Kaluchka. Kaluchka was almost 2 seconds off her best in the first run and really needs this one to be clean. It looked like there's been a couple of slips already though, but we'll keep an eye on the time. 8.199, not the result she needed. For Taba, meanwhile, really good time for her, 9.003. But Kaluchka had a couple of foot slips low down, was always chasing it after that. Time's just being made to wait. Mia Krampel now will be on the left, Elnaz Rakabi on the right. Now Elnaz fell on her first run. She's now the only climber without a valid time. The other climbers who fell managed to get one on their second run. So really things can only get better for Elnaz. She's in 22nd place. Mia Krampel 13.694 on her first run. So work to do for both climbers. Elnaz Rakabi got off to a decent start, but then stumbled almost immediately. She didn't clock a time on the first run though, so pretty much everything she can do here will be a bonus. That could have lived without that stumble, but still ends up with an 11.812. Mia Krampel improves slightly, 12.801. I don't think either of them will be over the moon with how things have gone on the speed wall. Particularly Elnaz, she can go almost 2.5 seconds quicker than that. She just had a few stumbles. It was messy from the start, and then right at the top, as soon as you start heading back down towards the ground and have to start again, you really are just burning time. You can see frustration reigning for her. Of course, Elnaz isn't a speed specialist, but she's still capable of going much quicker than that. Work to do for her for the rest of the day. Not the ideal start, but plenty of time to make amends. Alana Yip now up next. Decent time. Just dipped under 10 seconds on the first run. And Mori, not a good run at all. Almost 15 seconds. I currently in 22nd place. Alana in 12th as it stands right now. Could make her way into the top 10 if she has an absolutely dream run. Let's see. Clean so far. Taking a few more risks perhaps, and one of them not paying off there. Big foot slip on the right, and I don't think this is going to be an improvement on the time. It's not for Alana. Ends up with an 11.050.
On la placera avec ce résultat-là. Allez, la Française qui va nous rejoindre, Julia Chalourdi, tout à l'heure, elle fait un bon chrono de 9,60. Elle peut faire mieux, et Laura Rongora representing Italy. The first timer for Laura was 11.23.
Julia Chanaudy now and Laura Rigora. Good time from Julia Chanaudy first time around, 9.600. Again, capable of knocking some time off that. Laura Rigora 11.230, also capable of knocking a bit of time off. So both climbers got a decent time set already, but we'll know they can find even more time, and every ranking position might be absolutely crucial. Laura Rigora falls low down, so let's just keep an eye on Julia Chanaudy. The French crowd getting right behind her, but then she stumbles just before the top. Oh, she'll be so frustrated with that one. Wasn't able to improve on her time. Luckily, she had that decent result in the bank from earlier on. Right now, she's in the top 10. Hopefully, she can stay there.
Elle est pas mal placée, hein. C'est dommage parce que là elle était partie sur un chrono de 8 début de 8. Je sais pas ce que c'est son record personnel à Julia.
Evgenia Kasparkova keen to get on with it, being told she's just to wait. Jane Kim, there she is, close to the camera, will be on the left. Yeah, climbers just being made to wait a little longer than they might have liked. Jane Kim had a really good run by her standards, 10.463. And the climbers are not being made to wait. It looks like they've been sent back in. I have no more information than you at home. You can see Jane Kim and Evgenia Kasparkova got as close to standing at the foot of the wall, but then got sent back in. I do hope there's not a timing issue. We have occasionally had issues with the timing system. I hope we don't have one now. Officials studying something. As I say, I'm afraid I have no more information than you at home. I'm at the far side of the arena from the officials, so I can't throw a pen or something heavy at the officials to get their attention and try and find out what's going on. It's definitely some incidents of some description being studied. Judging by the fact there's a few people smiling, assuming it's not a big issue. I'm not sure what it is though.
Et Evgenia Kazbekovia, notre fille ukrainienne qui tournait tout à l'heure en 53. Il y a une fille, elle est dans l'histoire olympique depuis Pyongyang. Parce que quand elle était là-bas pour les Jeux Olympiques.
Now more officials coming, more people studying a computer screen.
Il faut savoir que Kim Il-sung, quand on va à Séoul, dans le métro, tu as des.
Just check his shopping receipt from earlier.
Kim Il-sung, c'est une athlète hors norme.
Croissants are expensive around here. Everything seems to have been running smoothly. We haven't had any issues that I've seen. But still we wait for news, still we wait for progress. We should have Jane Kim and Evgenia Kazbekova going. Let's have a look at the rankings as they stand.
Oui, voilà, puis là, à côté de ça aussi, il fait pas mal de podiums en Coupe du Monde de bloc. Donc c'est du très très solide.
Elle a 90 départs en Coupe du Monde de diff, 32 départs en Coupe du Monde de bloc et 8 départs en vitesse pour le combiné.
Oui, encore, elle avait été stoppée il y a quelques années, elle s'était fait les croisés à la Coupe du Monde.
That's the rankings as they stand right now. Yulia Koplina, run of her life. To put her in first place. Remember, of course, she's still got a couple of good speed climbs to go, including the world record holder Aries Susanti Raheo, currently sitting down there in fifth, but more than capable of moving up into first. Just so you know, apparently there was an issue with the timing pad for Laura Agora. I have to say I didn't see it at the time. We will try to find a replay. We will try to find some more information. But yeah, apparently there's an issue with the timing pad on lane B. Yeah, apparently there's some issue with the lane B timing pad, but perhaps you at home saw it. I'm afraid I didn't, and we will see what transpires. We're still waiting for information. That's how they stand right now, by the way. So climbers who've already had their second runs will stay where they are, if not move a bit further down. Everyone who's still to run, which is 8 climbers, has a chance to improve. Now let's keep an eye on Laura Agora. We just have to wait until she gets to the timing pad before we have any inkling what might have gone on. Let's have another look. Here she is. She's closing in on the timing pad. Oh. Well, whatever the problem was, it would appear Laura Agora is running again. Yeah, as I say, with comedy timing, the replay ended just before we saw what happened. But either way, Laura Agora will run again against an empty lane A.
Ready?
So clean start from Laura Agora. Always changes the dynamics slightly when you've got an empty lane next to you, but she's going pretty cleanly so far. Keep an eye on the time. She won't go under 10, I wouldn't expect. No, 10.851. But an improvement of about 0.4 of a second on her first run. So Jane Kim and Evgenia Kazbekova will be next out. Okay, let's have a look. I think we have now got the replay. Let's have a look if we can see what happened. Oh, it had already stopped, so I guess it stopped. Just looking at Julia Chanaudy's time. Yeah, I think that maybe it stopped when Julia Chanaudy touched her pad. So Jane Kim now against Evgenia Kazbekova. They've been made to wait an extra, what, 5-6 minutes? Now they get their second runs. So Jane Kim was 10.463 on the first run and 11.639 for Evgenia Kazbekova, and Jane Kim is not going to improve. Let's watch Evgenia. 11.639 the time to beat for her if she wants to improve, and she's going to be pretty close to it. She is, but half a second quicker, 11.019. As I say, every thousandth of a second might be crucial. Evgenia really good on the lead wall, really good on the boulders. So every ranking place you can move up on the speed could be absolutely huge for her, and that's a good return. She improves on her time. Now, there's an awful lot riding on this. It's no exaggeration to say, without wanting to get carried away, well, let's get carried away a bit. It's no exaggeration to say there could be an Olympic slot riding on this for Aries Sasanti-Raheu. There might be one for Fanny Gibert, but we won't know for a lot longer. But if Aries Sasanti-Raheu can beat Yulia Koplina's time of 7.370 and move into first place, that could be absolutely huge for the rest of this competition. 7.370 the time to beat. Fanny Gibert 10.233 on the first run. So Aries Sasanti-Raheu needs a perfect run. Keep a close eye on the clock. There could be so much riding on this. She does not manage it. 7.463. That's exactly excuse me, same numbers, not quite the same time. She's slightly quicker than Anouk Jobert, moves ahead of Aries Anouk Jobert. Yes, sorry, it was 7.463 for Raheu, 7.643, same digits but in a different order for Jobert. So she does move, for a split second I thought they had exactly the same time then. No, she does move just ahead of Anouk Jobert. So Yutong Jiang now next to Ashima, and of the 5 in inverted commas speed specialists, Yulia Koplina is first, Yiling Song is second, Aries Sasanti-Raheu is third, Anouk Jobert is fourth, and Alexandra Kaluchka is fifth. Kyra Condi, by the way, the fastest of the non-specialists. Again, it's a combined competition, no one's a true specialist, but Kyra Condi currently in 6th place. That is an amazing result for her, and her compatriot Ashima Shirashi has real work to do. What can she do on the speed wall? Not her favourite discipline by any means, but does not end up clocking a time. Yutong, meanwhile, ends up with an 11.599, excuse me. There's not an improvement on her previous time, by the way, so she'll stay on the same score. Last run of the speed climbing part of this qualification. Luchka Rakovic on the left, Solsar on the right. Solsar, good time for her first time around, 9.297, Luchka 11.443. Both are capable of going quicker, that is for sure. And, as we've seen with quite a few climbers, able to take a few risks on this run with the time already in the bank, and it was Luchka who got the better start, but Solsar's pace through the middle section really beginning to tell. It's all about the clock though, it's not about the person next to you, and Solsar clocks a 9.501, does not improve on her first time. Luchka Rakovic does improve quite considerably, almost a second, to a 10.756. So that is it for the speed climb. We'll just wait for the results to come through. Okay, so we have fully updated results. We'll get them on the screen for you in just a second. As I say, in the battle of the feet, the 5 so-called speed specialists, it is Yulia Koplina who's come out on top, then Yiling Song, Erisa Santiago, Anouk Jobert, then Alexandra Koluchka, and Kyra Condi, the highest ranked non-speed specialist, in 6th place with the run of her life, dipped under 9 seconds. There it is. That's how it stands after the speed. Futaba Ito in 7th, Sandra Letner 8th, Solsa 9th, and Julia Chanaudy finds her way into the top 10, which with Boulder and Lead to come, where she's had a lot of success in the past couple of years, I suspect she'll be reasonably happy with that one. This is the order lower down. Yutong Zhang in 11th, Alana Yip 12th, Fanny Gibert 13th, then Jane Kim, Luchka Rakovic, Laura Rigori, Evgenia Kazbekova, Elnaz Rakabi, Margot Hayes, Mia Krampel, Ashima Shiraeshi, and then I Mori in 22nd place. We will be back in just over an hour's time with the boulder. Look forward to speaking to them.